Good morning. This is my second attempt to film this video. I haven't filmed in a while, so everything just sounded a little awkward and a little off, so I thought I would just stop for the evening, go to bed, come back and try this again. So it's been a bit since I filmed a video, and my friend Jessica at Knockout Print Shop just filmed her first impressions of a Hobonichi cousin. I have been bugging her to try this planner for quite a while. We have been planner friends in real life for many years. We got to know each other when I was heavily into the Inkwell Press planning system, and that friendship just kind of continued as I rolled over into Hobonichi, and she started making stickers for the Hobonichi, which I love. And this video today is going to be very specific and hopefully not super long, and I just wanted to talk about how I use the Hobonichi, because I don't use it, at least I don't feel like I use it in a traditional sense. I love bullet journaling and I love simplicity, and unfortunately for my brain, when I bullet journal and I have the freedom of a blank notebook, I tend to make way too many spreads and try to track way too many things. I think when I walked away from bullet journaling, I was at like 60-70 pages a spread forever, or 60 to 70 pages per month because of all the spreads I was using. And I knew that the bullet journal method was brilliant and worked really well for me, but I needed something that had to rein me in. And I don't remember exactly when I realized it, but I strolled onto the Hobonichi and found a video years and years ago. It was a very old video when I found it, of a woman in Japan who used the Hobonichi cousin as a bullet journal. And it really sort of opened my eyes to, even though it was all predetermined and the Hobonichi has all the spreads laid out for you, they're done in such a way that you can manipulate the book and use it in different ways. So this video is going to just be how I use my Hobonichi. I got back into my cousin, I want to say it was mid-August. September is when I really started using it. So this is how I plan to use it for next year. I have purchased a 2023 in the English version. I'm kind of excited about that. I loved the Japanese version. It didn't bother me to have it in there, but giving it a try. This is a spring 2022 into 2023, and I'm going to be switching to a new one, and I'll explain all of that in a minute. One of the other things while I was on my hiatus from the Hobonichi, I discovered Giglio Personal Wide was the size that I fell in love with. So I kind of played with rings over most of this past year and really fell in love with the Giglio covers. This is a Giglio A5 Appunto in matte, I believe it is matte gray Croco, is the color. It's a flat color. It's a very beautiful gray. It's picturing pretty true to life on the camera. The biggest thing that I love about these planners is the big back pocket. So you see my big back pocket. What I find that lets me do is it lets me add printable inserts and things that I need to keep with me that I can't physically put into the Hobonichi because it's a bound book. And I'll talk more about that later, but I absolutely love these covers. They are an investment for sure, but I've purchased most of my covers from Giglio on the buy sell trade groups on Facebook. Everybody there seems to be fairly the prices are fair, the pictures are accurate. I personally have not come across anything that did not work well. Anyway, let's talk about the Hobonichi. So this is my cover, and I don't do a lot. Sorry about the glare on that. I'll hold it like that so it's not so bad. I keep my stencils. I keep a little bit of deco in here. I keep my current month journaling pages from Journaling Home. I get those on Etsy. I keep a pencil board in this front pocket. I keep a Hobonichi Weeks notebook. They're super thin in this front, and it's just so I have paper, scratch paper to jot something down. This is an old Post-it note holder from, I want to say Ashley Lee Designs. I think her shop is shut down right now, and I just put a label on there so I know what it is. I got this from Coffee Monster Co. I got this washi card on Etsy. I cannot for the life of me remember where I got it. If my agenda is found card, very simple. Like, I don't keep a lot of decor, a lot of fluff. I do change things out every now and then. I have a couple of these bookmarks that I just love the ribbons and stuff, and pretty sticky notes and ephemera that I get from the Scrawly Mama pouches and things like that. I keep some of those things. The cover that is on my Hobonichi is the Cat Espresso coat cover. You can get clear covers from Midori. You can get them from Lauren Phelps Designs. You can get them from Salty Katie Co. on Etsy. Cat Espresso Co. I think those are all the ones that I know of that I've personally dealt with. In the inside, I have a vinyl from Coffee Monster Co. These are printables that I got from Hey Girl Plans. Sorry for that glare, but they are the different sizes. Sorry, my camera is not focusing. There we go. Just different sizes. So if I have printable inserts that are in a different size, but I want them small enough that I can stick them in here or fit them in somehow, tip them in, whatever. This just has all of those laid out for me. It's super handy, and I've just always kept them there. I have a couple other plastic pockets I put here to keep some decor from the planner spot that I love, her Verb plannering, and the Planner Love drawing. I just absolutely love these, so I put those in here. I haven't really used this for anything yet. I sort of just mark my months. Like I said, I started using this in about August, September, but I'm using it for the second half of 2023, so I'm just marking those months off. And then the yearly spread. So this is a spread that I think sometimes confuses people on how to use it. I personally use it for an index, so an actual like table of contents. So in this book, I will be planning, or the way I'm going to use it is I actually plan in it for July, August, September, October, November, December. The other 6 months of daily pages are sections. I use it like a notebook. So I sat down and thought about what sections do I think I need, and I decided I always like to have at least one section that is for color palette, testing, inks, stamps, markers, any of those kinds of things, watercolors. I always like to have at least a section that I can play with that, don't worry about messing anything up in the planner, and that's what I use that for. Then I decided to make May my YouTube, so my KB Chronicles section, that's where I put my notes for videos. That's where I list links for things like shops I mentioned in the video, stuff like that. Anything like that would go here. And these are just the days, the days in the month, and then I just would write down on the first page of May. I use it for brainstorming things to revamp my channel. May 2nd was for system video, which is what I'm filming right now. Then for June, I used that one for my Q3 notes. Now, I wasn't actually fully in the planner at that time, but this is how I think I would use it if I had been in since July. So I have a notes section. Now, Q3 went by, I did not have any notes. So if I need more space to write YouTube video notes, or I decide I want to make this into a journal or do something, I would just simply put a sticker over the top or put a label and write in what I'm using it for and move on. It's my planner. It just has to make sense to me, if that makes sense. Then in the months that I'm actually planning, I like to put a sticker, a photo sticker of stuff that happened in this month. Again, I'm so sorry for the glare, but my ring light is just, it's glaring. So I have my a big memory on there. But in September, when I was fully using it, I had some recipes for game day foods. We did something. I had some medical info and appointments that I was scheduling that came in on the 1st. I wrote that stuff there. A recipe for air fryer drumsticks. I went to an essentials viewing, which goes to our homeschool. We got our new puppy, Georgia May, from rescue on the 11th, so I've got that written down. My son Henry went into ortho on the 28th, and we got pricing and all that stuff for his braces. You know, so all of that stuff is referenced here, so if I wanted to go back and look anything up, I could easily find it in this book. Okay? Then as we're into October now, you know, these will get used up. There'll be pictures at the months once they've been completed. And then for the last part of the year, I decided to do a section on health notes, fitness and health. I did a Q4 notes section, and then I did a pause section. And I got the idea for this, and this is stamped, and I know it's hard to read. Hopefully that makes it a little better. It's a stamp that says pause. I had to kind of overlap the letters. I got the idea for that from the Bullet Journal Method book that writer Carol wrote. And in the bullet journal method, there is lots of pause and reflect. So the idea is that before you write something down, or as you're writing something down, you have to decide, does this add value to my life, to my system, to what I'm doing? And I use this section for things like quotes that I find, books that I want to read. I put a lot of lists in there, and it's kind of where I park things that I'm thinking about implementing, or changes I want to make to my system, or my morning routine, or my homeschooling with my kids. And then it's a section that I can write it down, I can leave it, and then I can come back to it later and evaluate, is this something that I want to use? So this is how I use the yearly section. Now, in my friend Jess's video, she talked about, she has a farm, and she thought this would be a really cool way to monitor her pastures and her animals and where they're grazing, and kind of keeping that stuff rotated, which, you know, you need to keep track of when you're farming. I do not farm, so I would not do that. But I thought that was a really cool idea, because that's kind of the beauty of this book. You can really turn it into anything you want. That video that I watched so long ago now, and I wish I could find it, that talked about, you know, this is how she just indexes everything for her year. So you could put this on the shelf at the end of the year, and if you know that, I know that my son Henry went and started braces in September of 2022, that I can pull this book down and I can find the initial information, or the pricing, or what we spent on the braces, or whatever. And all I have to do is look at these 2 pages and can get that. Some people use this as a tracker. They'll put things they want to track across the top here this way, and then mark them off as they've done them. All of those are great ideas and options. I don't think I would check back on this in the daily, so I don't think I could use it as a tracker per se, but I think it's a cool idea. Some people use it to track fitness. They'll write what their workout was that day, how many steps they took that day. There's lots of options. The other thing, and I guess I'll get to that in just a minute, I also track how I use some of my weekly spreads in here, but I'll show you that in just a second. So that's how I use this section. Then you go into, if you're not familiar with Hobonichi, then you go to the months. I had some extra sheets of Coffee Monster Co. holiday stickers, so I did go through and I put them in. Because this is the spring edition, it starts in February. Those are released usually February 1st or 2nd every year. And it goes February through, I want to say, April or May of 2023. Okay? So all your months are together. All of these months that I didn't use, I just put down the holidays. And I started using it in July. I got some of the Coffee Monster Co. kits, monthly kits, played with those a little bit. Again, I was back planning because I wasn't actually in this planner fully. And I think it was in August that I actually switched over. So here's my August spread, and then here's September. So the way I utilize my planner, some of the stuff is just references for me. These are my weeks of our homeschooling calendar. You'll see a big number that's really light and a darker number. There's 2 different things I'm tracking there, but that's what those are for. I marked in trips. I marked in how many times I closed my rings. The gray corners are from Knockout Print Shop, as are the soccer balls. And I use those to mark my husband's work schedule. The blue triangles are my son's work schedule. You know, just marking like when pest control came, orthopedic appointments for my son who broke his arm, and then ortho appointments for braces. All of those things are kind of marked here. When we had conferences, essentials viewing, when we got our puppy, just overview type situation. That's kind of what I use those for. And then we're currently in October. This is what October looks like. And again, I'm just I use it for general tracking, games, all those kinds of things. And then I'll kind of try to go over stickers and stuff at the end. And then you just kind of go through the months. And then in January, I will switch to my 2023. But I do have some forward planning of, we're going to try and do a trip. When my son goes back to school, he's in college. When the rest of us go back to school with our homeschool group, those kinds of things. The spring Hobonichi release, I've got that marked. And I'll just sort of use these pages as I need them, but I'll be out of this book. So this is just forward planning at this point. And you go through that. Well, then you get into your weeks. So the way that I use these is I'm only using 6 months out of this book, right? So this is from April. So one of the things that I do with my spreads, in the weekly spreads that I'm not planning in, is I use it to make lists. So this particular spread, these are some of my favorite shops that I consistently buy stickers from. The Planner Spot, Knockout Print Shop, Sweet Caress, Mandy Lynn Plans on Etsy, and Papery Planning. And then I do get a lot of inserts from Peanut Planner Co. And that's what that is right there. So as I get ideas, or I run out of a sticker or something that I think I want to try to find, I make lists here, and then I can think about them. I can decide if I want to do them, and then I can mark them off when I purchased them, or mark them out when I decide I don't need them. That's how I use the weekly spreads that I'm not planning in. So other ways you can use this, you can make lists for a packing trip. I have 6 people in my family, so I could list out what everybody needs. I have a spread in here for holiday shopping. So I've got everybody listed. What do people need? Ideas for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. I kind of just make a gift list and use it for whatever. Sometimes I use this for pen testing. I'll do things like this and write down like what I think I would use it for, stuff like that. If I'm looking for a particular color. I purchased these pens today and I wanted to see how they worked on the Tomo River paper, wrote them down. So you can still use these weekly spreads for lots of things. Some people use them for errands. I've seen people use them for grocery lists. I've seen people use them for lots of things. And so for the weeks that I'm not using the planner to plan in, I've got lots of options. I've done grocery lists in this. I've done errands, like if I got to run to Target, I've got to run and do a return to Academy Sports. I've got to run over to Home Depot and pick something up. I need to go to 2 grocery stores to get certain things, or a specialty grocery store. If I have a particularly busy day and I have lots of lists, I will utilize this spread for that. So those are some ideas of ways to use the lists if you're not planning in them. Now, the weekly spread is where I do the bulk of my planning. So this is what a typical week looks like for me. I list my workouts, my weather at the top, workouts. I'm currently working on a program where you track your glucose to see how food affects you. And so I have days that I'm marking to track that. I have got that stuff written down. I just didn't put it in here until I filmed my video. I have, some of this stuff is done in markers, so like I draw out lines here. This is kind of my morning time. This is where we do our morning chores. These 4 days are where we do the bulk of our schooling. The stickers, so all of these little rectangles, let me see if I can zoom you guys in a little bit here. Can you see? Yeah, I think that's in focus. This is just all of our regular activities. Again, these are stickers that I picked up from Knockout Print Shop, and they're translucent, transparent. You can see through them. And I've got a color code, so everything in for my son is either blue, that's my older son, green is my younger son. I have 2 daughters, that's the yellow and the pink. My husband is gray. I'm a lighter pink color. It's kind of a corally pink. It's not on this page. And I plan out everything that we have set up is done that way. All of my text stickers that you see are from Mandy Lynn Plans. Some of them, like this one that says mow the lawn, this is a sticker that she has in her shop. These are custom stickers that you can order with whatever text you want. So I have some made for when we're at community. I have some made for when Jack is at school. I have some for when Jack is at work. This is my son who's in college. I have some general ones like at an appointment, and then I'll write down what the appointment is beneath it, at the soccer game, and where it is, and that information will go underneath it. This icon is from the planner spot. It's a trash can. Trash goes out on Wednesday nights. These are from the Busy Bee. It's a light bulb, or I do a light bulb or a checklist, or from Sweet Caress I have circle check marks. I use various things to make my list. This is a little planner. This is a backpack that I got from the Busy Bee. This is from Mandy Lynn Plans, and it's a book. So I can specify what the list is for. These two lists happen every single week. Sorry, I just realized I'm in too close. You can't see my other list. So this list over here, and these happen every week. These happen, but they could be different things. Sometimes they're a checklist, sometimes they're errands, sometimes it's groceries. Just depends on what I need. I just put down whatever kind of list I need at the bottom. I got that idea from Julie at Plan to Create when she used the Hobonichi. I have an AM and PM routine thing on the side here that I just draw in every week. And that's how I use my weekly spread. This is probably the spread that I use the most. And I think that is the workhorse of my planner. This is where everything is. This is where I know what overlaps, what doesn't overlap, what we have to get done, all that kind of stuff. So this has been a very useful spread for me, and this is where I do all my things. I am a vertical planner person. I struggle whenever I try to do something different, but this is what makes the most sense to my brain. So that's what it looks like when I use it. This is what a blank one looks like. I do have date covers up here from Knockout Print Shop. I like doing the rainbow colors at the top. It just gives me a little bit of color on my page if I don't use it. Then I use these little tabs here, these little silver tabs. They're called Midori tabs. I think you get them at JetPens or on Amazon. And I just mark the weeks that I'm not planning in. So like I had one up here, which is where I had the shopping list and a couple things like that. I also mark over here so that I can quickly turn to those and use those sections however I see fit. Sorry. And then this little tab right here pulls to my YouTube section and where I have notes there. So that's what I, use this for. And then my daily sections at the top, let me get that in focus. So you see these tabs right here, they're just sticker tabs. Those are the 6 months that I'm not using them for planning. So I can move those around, I can change them. They're literally flags with stickers on them, and I can move them around. I also have my schedule. So the blue and the purple mark our school schedule. For my younger kids, my older son's college schedule, and I just have so I can easily find those in my planner. And then I have a tab that I put daily on from Papery Planning, and this just marks my day, and this is what my dailies will look like unmarked. I draw a line down here. This is where I bullet journal. So I will rapid log events, tasks, things that come to mind, all that kind of stuff on this side of the planner. And then on this side of the planner, I will journal and take notes. Sometimes, let's see, let me find one that's like not a big deal. So like on this particular page, I wrote down things that I needed to get done, things I wanted to look at and make notes on. This side were some notes on an email I needed to review. My husband's December schedule was finalized. Needed to talk to my husband about an algebra curriculum for my daughter. All those kinds of things. Stuff like that. And I just make notes, draw lines underneath it when the thought's complete, and go forward with that. These stickers are the stickers I was referring to from Knockout Print Shop. And what I do is I only put on this line, this timeline, anything that's going to take me out of the house. So I don't have to leave the house today. It's Wednesday the 12th when I'm filming until about 3:30 this afternoon. So that makes this morning a good time to film. So it just gives me that spot where I can look at that and go, okay, I have this time, or I'm not leaving the house until this time. Again, everything is color coded. I know what those colors mean. I know who they belong to, but it allows me to bullet journal in my book. And then if I write something down that I need to reference, that's where I will go back to this page, and I would write down on October 12th. If I write something down that I might need to reference later, I would put it right here and go back. I tend to get to the end of the week and go through my daily pages. Is there anything that I need to put in? I'll go back and put it in. It's not like I have to go back and forth every single day and do it in that manner. And then that's kind of how I use the book. And then at the end of the book, so these are my other notes sections, they're marked at the back. I have a pocket back here that I have from Erin Condren. This is where I keep my lesson plans. This is an insert that I got from Plan to Create, and it was a fold out monthly spread, and I just took the dates and made some lines, and I do these weekly, and these are my lesson plans, and they just slide back here instead of me having to create a spread within my planner. Now if I wanted to, I could totally use a weekly spread and do that, but this makes more sense to my brain, and it also gives me a copy in my computer for my records. So this is how I do it, but you could easily take a weekly spread, draw the lines in, and do the exact same thing in the planner if that's what you needed to do. If you're only going to use it for 6 months at a time. If you're going to plan in it for the whole year, then you would have to do something like this. So just options. Here are some of my Peanut Planner Co. inserts. These are the yearly dated bundle, and I will be sliding these into the back soon. I've been working on getting them done, but I use this one to track my husband's work schedule. I use this one for health, so I track my menstrual cycle on the front. On the inside, I put doctor's visits that we do, doctor's visits that get scheduled. So we went to the dentist in August, and we're going again in early March, so I need to write the dentist appointment here. And then you have first quarter notes. This has changed slightly from last year's layout. I'm very excited about these changes, but yeah, I just mark all our health stuff. So kids' orthodontist appointments, my husband's doctor's appointments, eye doctors. So that way I always know when those things are coming up. And then I have this one, which I use for our home maintenance. So I list all the tasks over here that we want to do each month. I revamp this every year and kind of re-evaluate what we did. So we have quarterly tasks that we like to do. When is our HOA fees due? When do we pay for trash? When do we have upcoming yard sales? All that kind of stuff that pertains to the house I put in here. So that's what goes here. This is a Catspresso Co. I think it's just supposed to be like a folder, and it's plastic. It matches the flowers. I don't know if you can see that. But it's a folder, and it's meant to go into an A5 rings. And so it fits really nice in the back of the Hobonichi. I just taped it in with washi tape, and it's just where I keep extra sticky notes. It's where I can slide papers that I don't need to like permanently have in my planner, but I want to make sure I don't lose them, so I stick those in here. Then in the back pocket, I have a sheet from the Operation Christmas Child. I have some other notes. I have, I've just always had this little gold bookmark. This is just a ruler that I use. In my zipper pocket, I keep stamps and a couple Band-Aids, all of that kind of stuff. And then in the back pocket, I keep, so let me get all of this stuff out so that I can show you. So in the back pocket, I keep a couple things. So this is my husband's schedule for this year. We go through, he submits the dates he wants to work at the hospital. We mark those. The hospital will confirm or negotiate and change some of those dates. We write those things down. I write things that are coming up so that my husband doesn't schedule to work on them. It's just a really nice thing, and at the end of the year we have a record. This is my health calendar for this year. Like I said, it changed this year, so the back is just, you know, I just list out all the doctor's appointments and things we've got going on. The other thing I use is, when I was at Inkwell Press, one of my favorite inserts that they did was this meal planner, and I just cut the discs off up at the top, and I can use this and slide this into the back. So I'll date this, and then I use the back for the grocery shopping, and it's just in the back of my planner. It's out of the way, but I have it. Didn't have to create an insert for that. I'm sorry, I just realized it stopped. I'm not sure exactly where we stopped, but I think I was starting to talk about this. So this is monthly bills from Jasenia Printables. She recently closed her shop, so you unfortunately can't get these anymore, but I know Peanut Planner Co. and a couple other people have them. I print them out and make quarterly books, and it's just a sheet. Let me see if I can find a blank sheet. Here I'm going to use December. So it's not together. Let me see if okay. So on one side it has the month, and then I have a couple of shopping inserts in here from Studio L2E. And then on the other side it has my bills listed, the dates, and you check them off as you pay them. So I print this out as a quarterly booklet, and it slides in the back. So I have my financial planning, I have weekly meal planning, I have some yearly planning. All of this just slides in that back pocket, and I don't have to like rearrange or reinvent the wheel for myself when I'm doing my planning. But that is how I'm using my Hobonichi. If you have questions, or if there's something that you would like me to do a more in-depth video, let me know. I sometimes I like to do plan with me, sometimes I don't. I feel like when you're planning, it's such a personal thing that when I video it, I feel like it makes me nervous and I miss stuff and I make mistakes. But I don't have a problem like flipping through it after the fact and talking about it. I'm planning on doing a couple videos on stickers that I think are really, really useful for the Hobonichi. Inserts that I found really, really useful to print and use in conjunction with the Hobonichi. Things like that. So if there's something that you would like to see or something you would like me to do a video on, please leave a comment below. And hopefully this was helpful. I think I got it to be about 30 minutes. So yeah, I haven't filmed in a long time, so I apologize if this is a little choppy and awkward, but I look forward to filming more. I hope you guys will give me some ideas of things you guys want to see, and I hope you're looking forward to, you know, the new planner season and finding what you're going to do for 2023, and I look forward to seeing everybody again really soon. So let me know if there's something I can do or something that you would like to see me film, and I hope to talk to you guys again really soon. Bye.